TinkerCAD tips. In this tutorial, I'm going to go over how I created these flared funnel shapes, and this came from a question from a follower. So you see I've got various versions here, and down here you'll see these outlines. So let me show you how I did this. We're going to be using the sketch tool and SVG Revolver. So let's start by moving those out of the way. Bring our work plane. Let's bring up our sketch tool here. Put that out on the work plane. All right, what we're going to do is make a side profile of the funnel, and we'll start, and we have the straight line connector selected right now. Let's drop a point down here. Let's come up a ways. Let's say we drop another one right there. Now hitting the number 2, I'm going to switch to this Bezier curve pointer. And we're going to bring our shape up here, and holding down the left mouse button, I can modify that curve to about where I want it. Okay, I'm going to hit the number 1 to select straight line. Come in there, hit number 2 to go back to a curved line. We'll bring it in there. And again, holding that left mouse button down, and then, pulling these out, I can make the corresponding curve. Let's make it about there. Hitting number 1 again, straight line, we'll come back down to the bottom. And then finally over to our original point to close it out. Now, if I had any mods to make, we could make those now. For instance, let's say I wanted to make this straight part of it longer. I could select these two, and I can just use the cursor keys here. We'll bring that a little further down. And when we have our shape, the profile of that funnel the way we want it, we're going to click on Finish Sketch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to export that as an SVG. Come out here, we'll just call it Tapered Funnels SVG. All right, let's move that out of the way. Now up here in the search, let's find our SVG Revolver, and this one's easy to find. Just type in Revolver. There's our shape. Let's bring it out. Let's move this sketch out of the way. We'll zoom in a bit here. Select our SVG Revolver. For the sake of clarity, let's make it yellow. I just find that easier to see. First thing, we're going to come down here and we're going to select that SVG that we just exported. We'll bring that back in. Let's max out the height. Let's change the inside diameter to 5 millimeters. Let's increase the number of sides to make it smoother. Let's make sure we have this as a solid here. Okay, when that renders, it'll look something like this. And you'll see by default that this will open up with only going 300 degrees around. So we're going to come to Revolve Angle. Let's make that 360. All right, now from here, we can stretch this any way we want, holding the Shift key. I'll bring this out. We could stretch it up if we wanted to. And if we select on it, hit the letter T for transparency. Okay, now you'll note here too that if you look real closely at this, it does have a few flat sides. The number of sides is 48. Now we can make a little correction here to this to make it a bit smoother. Let's bring up our calculator for a moment. Okay, we're going to divide 360 divided by 48. That's 7.5. And we'll divide that again by 3. That's 2.5. So what we can do here is we'll select on it. We'll hit duplicate. We'll come down here on the degrees and let's change that to 2.5. There's once. We'll hit Control D. That's another duplicate. And Control D one more time. Now, if we select this whole area, we have 4 shapes there all together. Let's group those together, and when it renders, it'll be much smoother. And there's the final rendered version. Make it transparent. You can see the slope in it. And again, you could make any additional changes to it, stretching it and such. But there's a quick way of making a shape like that using the Sketch tool and SVG Revolver. Like, follow, and share, and as always, if you have questions or comments, drop them in the comments below. Thanks.